I'm lonely now.
With a new single, Telltale Signs, that is at the top of the iTunes chart, Melanie Holt remains a force of grace, beauty, grit, and determination. From being a middle school teacher to becoming a successful businesswoman to becoming a TV star and producer of the owned networks Love and Marriage Huntsville and the host of Behind Every Man on the same network, Melody is definitely doing it all. And with her foot on the gas pedal, she is not slowing down anytime soon. And she joins us in the Jenleeion circle today. And we got a lot to talk about. But first, how are you doing, Melody?
Hi, what's up, everyone? Look, I am doing exceptionally well. I am just so thankful and filled with so much excitement. Finally released my single to the world, so I am feeling absolutely wonderful.
And let me tell you that the single is something. I enjoyed. I've listened to it about 10 times so far, and it definitely tells a story. But I would like for you to define the story that it tells. Your vocals are rich, but it's rich with a story. Take everyone into the crux of that song if you can.
Absolutely. So, you know, my family and I hit the national screens in 2018. And through that, through the filming of Love and Marriage Huntsville, they've been able to follow the journey of myself and my now ex-husband, Martell, and us trying to overcome infidelity and move forward as a family while also still having a few falls and getting back up again and having falls and getting back up again. And so what I decided to do was to share my story and release my feelings, my emotions, my pain, my disappointment, and release that through my music. Fortunately, being able to work with a Grammy Award winning producer, Bob Robinson, 1500 or Nothing, another Grammy nominated team helped me write Telltale Signs along with another writer here out of Atlanta. You know, it has just been great to allow people to follow me through that journey and that process of what I've been experiencing in my marriage and being transparent and authentic and raw with those things that have been happening in my marriage. And so that's part of the journey. What everyone kind of was seeing on television, I took it, made it a little bit deeper and gave them a little more information about what has been going on behind closed doors.
So in a sense, you bore it all. So, and I'm expecting, did you find this process to be cathartic, or had your healing happened prior to, and that's how the song became to realization?
Oh, I am definitely still in my healing process, to be honest. I don't think after, you know, a 12-year marriage and a 14-year, you know, journey ship is what I'll say, because he and I literally went on a life journey together. We grew up together. You know, we got together when I was only 21. And so through that journey ship, there is going to take time when it comes to truly healing from the things that caused that to end. So I'm still in my healing process. I'm thankful to God that I'm as far along as I am, but I still do have a ways to go as well. And I understand that, and I'm open to that. So
now, you had a dream of being on TV and becoming a host and to continue capturing hearts like you've been doing since high school. And so with the birth of this TV show, it really became as a brainchild from you and Martell and your meeting with Carlos King. A lot of people don't know that story behind the scenes. Talk to me about going from TV dream to, yes, I would be okay with letting the world into the window of my family.
Absolutely. You know, we met with Carlos King a few years ago, and we presented him with a show idea treatment. And I think one of the things that was interesting was that we wanted to do a show based out of Alabama. Yeah. You know, it's not uncommon to hear about reality TV shows from places like LA or New York or Atlanta.
Stood up and said, I'm tired of that. I want to change it.
Yeah, you know, so Alabama, oh my gosh. And so, you know, we presented him with our idea. He loved it. We stayed in contact with him, continuing to just show him the other side of Alabama that goes against the stereotype, which is that, Alabama is a country state with just horses and cows and farmland. We have that too, but we also have some major things going on in Alabama. Home of NASA, Huntsville, particularly home of NASA, Redstone Arsenal, and engineering, number 2 research park in the country.
Yeah.
Definitely into, genetics and things like that. So it was just wonderful for us to be able to take the time to kind of sell Alabama to him. And then from there, we created a sizzle reel and put that together. He loved it, sent us a contract that day. We signed it, which gave him a certain amount of time to get us a show picked up. And during that time, he said, hey, I'm really, really great at getting ensembles sold. Do you have any ideas of any other people that you may want to bring on the show? If not, we can keep going the way we're going. I'm getting good feedback, but I know I could get an ensemble sold super quickly. And we were like, oh yeah, we've got some friends. And so then we presented the Scotts to Carlos, and now here we are from 2018 starting filming. We're in 2021, and we've got, the number 1 reality TV show that's trending right now. So
currently, Love and Marriage Huntsville, it's in its 2nd season. Now, I do think it's amazing that you guys have been able to do what you've done, but I go to a practical question in life. Pleasure and love, obviously. I've seen some couples be able to live together and work together, and sometimes that has been difficult. How will what you're going through right now, how will it, if it will, affect the Come Up group?
So the Comeback group, honestly, I kind of walked away from the Comeback group a while ago. I decided that I no longer wanted to do business with the individuals who were a part of the Comeback group. I still wanted to, be a positive force in the community, but in my own way. And so when it comes to the Comeback group, I think that's where everyone is. Everyone is kind of doing their own thing and finding their own niche and what they want to do to help the community.
So the piece of it you really don't have to worry about in terms of the difficulty that might be faced with, obviously going through a painful divorce, and having to worry about intertwined business. Motherhood.
Absolutely.
You're a mother of 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Oh, my pumpkins. I love them so much. So I have 4 children. They are 9, 8, 5, and 1. And actually, my 1-year-old baby Milani, she was actually the first baby special on the Oprah Winfrey Network. So, the viewers were able to see that entire process from, the baby shower all the way to the delivery. So it was amazing to share her with the world. So she has so many what I call cyber aunties, uncles and cousins, okay? And but it has just been great. My children are amazing. Of course, at this time with everything going on, my goal is to make sure that they feel and know that they're loved and that they are cared for, and that regardless of what mommy and daddy has going on, they are super important. It has nothing to do with them. And just to show them and just give them extra love and attention and support. And so that's what I do. And try to make sure there are no hiccups in the life that they're used to having as best as I can.
Yeah, as best as you can, especially in this season of COVID where everyone has been so
that
isolation, right?
How
have you been able to usher them through that? Because there's been no book on it for any of us, of course.
Absolutely. So with our kids, I think that because it's 4 of them, that has helped a lot in the sense that they still get to interact with
somebody.
They're
right, with somebody.
Okay? Listen, I couldn't imagine if it was an only child during COVID. You know what I mean? So fortunately, they've got each other to play with and entertain before they went back to school. Of course, they're in school now, so they're back with their friends and back to almost a semi-normal schedule when it comes to school. So that has been amazing. But before that, I think for them, they weren't too affected because they had each other. And then they have parents who are entrepreneurs. So we were able to be right there with them as well. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We got to go to work. We were able to be there with them.
Right. And with the entrepreneur piece of it, obviously hugely successful. You're the CEO of a multi-million-dollar property company. But you took that a step further in the sense that in 2020, you wanted to share the tried and true methods of entrepreneurship with the world, and you've helped hundreds of people. How did you come about launching Masterclass with Melody?
Oh, wow. So Masterclass with Melody, the birth of that was just right on time. And I think it definitely fulfilled something within me in terms of being able to help people use my expertise and my knowledge to teach people about a multi-billion industry that is oftentimes overlooked because it has been a white male dominated industry.
Yeah.
And so for me, it has been great. Most of my students have been African American women, but being able to help them create businesses, get business checking accounts, create EINs, create LLCs, and gain contracts, working on foreclosed properties for the banks, building contractor teams, learning how to bid, learning how to gain access to contracts and things of that nature. It was very fulfilling for me at a time when I needed my cup to be filled. And so I was able to be filled while also pouring into others as well. And so Holt Preservation Academy, we are genuinely just really like a family. And we support one another in everything we have going on. And I am just, I'm thankful for all of my students. At this point, I've had approximately 200 students come through the Holt Preservation Academy since its launch in June of 2020.
One of the things that spoke to me, I'm a blind artist, a blind journalist, all that stuff. But one of the things that spoke to me is your God Said Go brand that you're still focusing on.
Yeah.
God said go.
Yeah.
Telling myself that the God said that get up and do it, dream. This brand came about because Melody wanted to do what?
Wow. So I am a strong believer that God gives us intuition. Okay. And I am a strong believer that you have to be in a certain spiritual space to actually hear when he speaks to you.
Yes.
And when you allow yourself to be in that space and God tells you to go, whether that is pertaining to a relationship, a friendship, a career move, starting that on that degree that you've been procrastinating on, weight goals, whatever the case may be, and you know that you've been procrastinating while God has been saying go. No, you need to go when God says go. And when you are obedient in what he tells you, then that opens up the door for your blessings to flow in like never before. I can say firsthand for me, when God said go and I moved, I received all the confirmation that I needed to know that I was doing the right thing and that I heard his voice correctly. So my hope and my prayer is that through my merchandise line, God Said Go, everyone who's rocking, whether it's the t-shirts, the leggings, the ball caps, the beanie and mask, the sweatshirts, the hoodies, that we're all pushing the message that when God says go, you go. And again, that can be career, degree, friendship, relationship, marriage, whatever it may be. I hope that we're all pushing the message that being obedient is the key.
You know what you did for me? When I read that line, I hear Karen Clark Sheard and Kiki Sheard screaming in my head, go! Are you familiar with that?
Well, I love Karen Clark Sheard.
Yes. Yes, that's what I hear in my head is them saying God says go for when they released that. And so, and that's what's amazing by it, that you took a brand and made sure that it was spiritually driven from an apparel perspective. And I'll step back to what's currently going on regarding the show. Obviously, you guys put together the show, you did the show, and you bore it all for the country, and no one anticipates infidelity, right? Or it coming to this degree. Is there any piece of it that you regret, having that personal part of it being so apparent for individuals?
Honestly, I don't have any regrets in terms of just being absolutely transparent and authentic through the entire process. I believe that by sharing my journey, I've helped more people than not. And I think that women across the country, across the world have, been able to gain a new level of strength, been able to gain a new level of independence, of, just confidence and Godfidence. I like to say that, Godfidence. Okay, I feel that.
Oh, I love it. Say that again, Godfidence. You know what?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, for me, through sharing that journey, it has, like I said, it's helped more people than not. I don't regret it at all. I regret that I had to experience it in my marriage, because I didn't go on national TV expecting that this is what
Expecting,
was
of
going to
course.
happen,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
nobody gets married to get divorced.
of course.
And so, that is the part that is a regret. But being authentic and transparent with the viewers and the followers and the listeners for all the interviews and all of that nature, no, I'm glad that I have been as open as I have been. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that my story resonates, and it is helping someone every single
Every
day.
single day, absolutely. So do you find so far? Do you find that co-parenting will be easy?
I think that is a journey in itself as well.
Mm, well,
When you have things that are still so fresh, it takes a certain level of maturity from both parties in terms of being able to co-parent successfully. Not just one person can make it successful. It takes both parties being
yes.
mature in order to make sure it works well. So my prayer is that we get to that place to where we can co-parent well, and just move forward in life. Both of us grow, do self-work to increase self-worth, and that we are able to show and demonstrate that to our children.
Absolutely. And one of the ways you've done that is by turning back to music. And people don't know this, but you've been singing and acting since high school. And with you
Yeah,
back,
actually since elementary.
it's elementary.
Since elementary, my first performance, I was 5 years old, and I sang for a local television station for a Christmasathon they were doing.
Oh wow. Well, you need to put that in
Yeah.
your bio because that needs to be in there too.
Yeah. So my first, yeah, I was 5 years old, but I have been definitely all of my life. I can say that, my mom made sure I was always active, whether that was being involved in church plays, singing, playing the piano at church, being in community programs, events, singing the national anthem at football games and all of that. I was just always super involved. Okay. Always.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I tell you, you've definitely inspired us. And here at Jenleeion, we have an anti-bullying campaign called I Am Human Too.
Wow.
Yes. I stated it before that I'm totally blind, but I was a person who was bullied for a lot of stuff growing up. But it's not just anti-bullying. It's because I believe that discrimination is a bigger word for bullying, right? Adults tease one another, bring each other down. So I'd like to play a video for you, and then for us to talk on the other side of it, if we can, before we end.
Absolutely.
Act like I'm human. I am human too, and I breathe just like you. I have feelings and things that I do want to achieve. When fear is alive, oh, these eyes, they do cry. But you could dry my eyes if you act like I'm human. Act like I'm human. Hey, see me as human too. See me as human. Act like I'm human. Act like I'm human. See me as human too.
Oh, awesome. That was beautiful. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being able to watch it because it's a huge campaign that's a flagship for us at Jenleeion. And so
Okay.
the phrase "I am human too." What does that mean to Melody? Could you define that for me? And how would you encourage other people who are struggling with self-worth?
Well, when I think of the phrase, I would just, when you think about, we're all different, but regardless of the differences that we have, like you said in your song, whether it's gay, straight, black, white, can see or blind, regardless of what, we're all human, and it's the human race that is at stake if we don't allow love to conquer and overcome. And so that's what I think of. And anyone dealing with self-worth, you know, I would say you have to take time to tap into and remind yourself of who you are and whose you are. And you have to, that means sometimes getting away for, you know, a time period from the everyday hustle and bustle of life, just so that you can have time mentally to remind yourself of who and whose you are. And so we all have things we struggle with. We all have certain insecurities. We all have things that we're not a pro at, that may not be our strong point, but we have to pull together those strong points and allow those things to be what help us to shine and move forward in the purpose and the lane that God has for us.
We're speaking to Melody Holt. Please go listen to Telltale Signs. It's currently at the top of the iTunes chart, and I'm expecting it to go even higher. It's a very good R&B song, and we expect more from you, Melody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Gave you 5 years to cut her